It's easy to think of famine as something that just happens as a result of bad harvests, a flood, or an act of nature. But in 2025, famine is rarely accidental. It is manufactured. Across the world's deadliest conflicts, leaders and armed groups have discovered or are discovering something. That hunger can be as powerful as bombs and bullets. So global hunger may be going down, but famine deaths are rising, especially in conflict zones from Gaza to Sudan. More and more people are starving to death in war zones. Our next report tells you why.
If you zoom out, the picture looks slightly better than it did during the pandemic. The UN estimates that about 673 million people, roughly 8.2% of the world's population, faced hunger in 2024. It's a small dip from the year before, but numbers can lie. The average hides the extremes. In places where war is raging, the hunger curve isn't going down at all. It is shooting up. International law forbids using food as a weapon. But the battlefield is littered with loopholes. Armies can block roads, deny aid convoys, bomb grain silos, or loot warehouses. And when they do, they aren't just starving civilians accidentally. They're starving them intentionally. That's why humanitarians now speak of weaponized famine. It's not drought, it's not poor planning, it's by design. Take Gaza, for example. In 2025, the word famine was officially attached to Gaza, the first time in its history. More than 500,000 people are trapped in conditions of acute hunger. Malnutrition has hollowed out bodies, particularly those of children's.
Mariam began showing signs of malnutrition while we were in Rafah. At that time, the hunger wasn't as severe as it is now. Because of the extreme starvation we're facing now, she lost even more weight, dropping to just 9 kilograms. What we're going through now is far worse than what we experienced in the south. Her condition back then wasn't nearly this bad.
This wasn't caused by nature. It was caused by war. Bombed farmland, shattered infrastructure, and tight restrictions on humanitarian access have combined to create a perfect storm of starvation. Aid agencies describe Gaza today not as a hunger crisis, but as engineered famine.
It is a famine in 2025, a 21st century famine, watched over by drones and the most advanced military technology in history. It is a famine openly promoted by some Israeli leaders as a weapon of war. It is a famine on all of our watch. Everyone owns this. The Gaza famine is the world's famine. It is a famine that asks, but what did you do? A famine that will and must haunt us all.
If Gaza is the world's most visible famine, the Sudan may be its most invisible. Since fighting erupted between the Sudanese armed forces and the Rapid Support Forces in 2023, millions have been cut off from food. Both sides have reportedly blocked or stolen humanitarian aid, using hunger to weaken rivals and terrify civilians. The consequences are catastrophic. Aid workers themselves are attacked. Supply routes are deliberately severed, and millions hover on the brink of famine. What makes the Sudan different is its scale. Humanitarians warn this could be the world's largest hunger disaster if the siege-like tactics continue. A famine is preventable. Unlike an earthquake, this is man-made, which means it could be stopped with political will. Aid exists. Food exists. The problem is access. Yet global leaders treat famine as background noise until the images are too gruesome to ignore. So, global famine deaths aren't climbing everywhere. But in Gaza, the Sudan, and other war zones, they are rising sharply, because leaders have rediscovered a terrible old truth. Hunger works. The question is whether the rest of the world is willing to let food remain a weapon of war in the 21st century.
Firstpost now available in 9 languages on YouTube. English,
Stands at $36 trillion.
French,
Le FMI, comme
German,
Geschäftsführenden Direktoren,
Hindi,
$30 trillion ka karjo.
Indonesian,
Pemerintah tanpa pemeriksaan.
Italian,
Kali radikali.
Japanese,
4 兆ドル以上も
Portuguese,
por causa do próprio balanço patrimonial.
Spanish.
Beautiful bill.
Go to Settings, click on Audio Track and select the language of your choice. Be the first to know what's happening around you in your first language. Firstpost.